Well, yes, Reed.
Right, Brian, continue to stay with us on the telecast as we track more developments from Israel. Meanwhile, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has now lashed out at President Macron and other Western leaders who are calling for an arms embargo against Israel. He said that while Israel is defending itself on a total of 7 fronts, some Western leaders are calling for an arms embargo against Israel. He asked whether an arms embargo was being imposed on Iran as well as Hezbollah. He ended his note by saying that Israel will win with or without their support. Brian, what can you tell us about this note that Benjamin Netanyahu has penned towards Western countries, where he essentially has said that while Western countries may ask for an arms embargo against Israel, they may not have done the same against Iran or Hezbollah?
Well, we definitely, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed President Macron, stating that Israel is currently defending itself on 7 different fronts against what he termed the enemies of civilization. Even Netanyahu also emphasized that in Gaza also Israel is fighting Hamas, which he even accused of committing atrocities on October 7th, including the murder, rape and even beheading. In Lebanon also Israel is battling Hezbollah, which he rather described as the most heavily armed terrorist organization, and allegedly planning a large-scale massacre also on the northern border. He also goes on to mention the conflicts also with the Houthis in Yemen, the Shiite militias in Iraq and Syria, and even terrorists in Judea and even Samaria, as well as direct missile attacks from Iran. Now, talking about the criticism also, Netanyahu, yes, Reep, like you said, also criticized Macron and other Western leaders for calling for an arms embargo on Israel, contrasting it with Iran's support for its proxies like Hezbollah, Hamas and Houthis. He also called such an embargo a disgrace and reaffirmed Israel's commitment to fight until victory is achieved. And he also framed the conflict as a defense of global civilization against barbarism led by Iran. And despite the lack of certain international support, also Netanyahu asserted that Israel would prevail while those opposing the nation would bear shame long from the war's end. Yes.
Right, Brian, thank you for staying with us and sharing that information. Meanwhile, let's hear